Hello everyone. Okay, so I think it's working now. StreamYard was having such a mess trying to work all this stuff out. It just was not having any sort of good luck, but we're here now. We're good. So in this week's stream, obviously as the thumbnail, I'm going to be making a custom Han Solo. Apologies, I can't get the screen any bigger. For some reason, StreamYard just seems to wanted to make everything super small. So that's a bit frustrating, but we'll manage. Oh, someone's just in the chat. Hey there, how you doing? So let's get a move on, shall we? Right, I'll just set up my camera and my setup and everything. So we've got these 3D parts at the minute. I'm kind of currently using. I've got the new Han Solo base, including the Fett clone head that has been set with it as well, which is kind of really cool. Gives the extra kind of level of detail. And we've got these new 3D printed parts which I've created, which is like a sculpted 3D print of the coat that Han uses on Endor, as well as a shirt, because the shirt that came with the original base figure was his A New Hope shirt. So now that we have the Endor one, so let's just let everyone know that we're live, because we want to make sure everyone can see. Apologies for this. I'm super gutted that StreamYard is having such a paddy. But let's have a look. I promise one day I will get more professional with this. Okay, there we go. Let's just do a link with that, and then I can have my chat on screen as well. Cool. Right, let's get that. Okay, cool. So, just 2 minutes. Let's just try and get that, because I can see the chat on my other phone. And then that way it's like I can see what everybody's chats are saying. Currently, my phone is having such a palaver. Okay, did you get my message on it? See, I think it was spots. I'll have a look for it in later. I've got to do quite a bit of admin for Etsy later on. Currently stuck at the minute with boxes not arriving, which is really irritating. So just trying to focus on get this commission out of the way. So here we go. Let's crack on with it. So I've got the original arms, which are kind of cool. That the Indiana Jones arms fit the new Han Solo roly-poly kind of hands, which is kind of cool. So we've got them inside the new Han Solo chest. I think it looks really nice together. So we're going to repaint pretty much everything on this one. We've just got a new print of it now, which I've just done another test print, because the other one was it works, but this I wanted to give this one a bit of a smaller go. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'll look at that later on. Cool. So let's get this cured, because this is currently uncured at the moment, but we've got the original shirt there. So let's have a look, see how we're getting on. Just put that in the curing station. Once again, do let me know if the audio is a bit rubbish. I'm still obviously quite new to all of this, so I'm still trying to work it all out. So let's just get that on there like that. And try and work out what the hell's going on with with StreamYards. How is everybody doing today anyways? Everyone having like it's a Thursday today. Okay. Stream seems to be going pretty good, so that's all good. Let's just put some ambient music on so I'm getting my headphones because I'm going to go mental not hearing anything. What ambient music should we have? Plus, we're going to need to get the reference material for this guy because we're going to have to find out which colors everything are going to be to try and match it as possible. So we're going to need to go to the costumes book as well, which is going to be really good. Reference. Oh my god. I swear AI is going to be the absolute death of all of us right at this point, because I'm trying to go Google search everything at this point and it is kind of just rushing ahead and trying to fill out words for me, and I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. Can we please just not rush ahead? Okay, let's have that music on. So, reference book. Let's go get the reference book. Hopefully you can still hear me because I've got my mic on it, which is kind of cool. So, let's find. Oh, right into Boba Fett. Because who doesn't love Boba Fett? But that wasn't the correct film we wanted. We wanted ROTJ. Ooh, Stormtroopers. So, Endor. Aha! Right, here we go. Okay, cool. So, we've got our coat for Han, depending on how you want to say it. And then you've got the coats for... Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. I've never actually realised that. The long coats that the Rebel troopers use are the exact same as Han Solo's. That's pretty cool. That means, you could use this print to use on an Endor trooper to make a long coated version, which is pretty awesome. So he's obviously, these are quite, I'd say, brown, so very like an olive drab. So you can't see that, can you? Let's keep checking. So this kind of color looks like a very olive drab, like a dark olive drab kind of color. Appreciate under the camera you're probably going to be seeing it a slightly bit different, where we've got like a brown and it's like air brushed, air painted on here. Then we've got like the dark green here, and I think that's like another green. Kind of looks like it. You've got like a load of dark greens at the bottom here. So you've got a load of dark greens at the bottom, and then it looks like there could be a lighter green there as well. So you've got brown, olive drab, and maybe like a light olive green kind of color, and then the base color, it's not quite a khaki, but it's like hey Frederick, it's almost like oh come on brain, I've got a paint color here, I think that might use for it. Yeah, like a light earth kind of color, like something like that, like a neutral fabric kind of color. and then obviously they just completely like oversprayed it on with it with like air, they're like rattle cans or maybe like an airbrush to create this like camo effect, because obviously if you look at the other Rebel ones, they've got like a light kind of material, and then they've gone for a really heavy kind of lighter greens. So I will say that like looking at this one, those look like they have got 3 different types of camos, which is kind of cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Same style as Han Solo's. They've got 3 different types of colors for the camouflage, so we're gonna have to go with this one in different colors from this one too. But we're gonna have to completely repaint everything. So we're gonna pop this guy apart, take all the different bits to get off together, and then I think we're probably not gonna get everything done on this stream, to be honest with you, but we'll get like a good chunk of it down. And what we'll do is we'll take everything down. We'll do like a highlight. We'll do like a base layer of black matte primer, which is this stuff, the matte surface primer from Green Stuff World. I promised I'm not sponsored by him, but should be, because that stuff's really good. And then we'll prime everything, and then it'll have like a good layer, and we can go in and do a highlight pass as we do to try and all these folds in the sleeves, and then on the actual print itself of how I've sculpted it into the print, as you can kind of see along here, how the actual 3D print has them all sculpted in. These parts will go on my Etsy store like once we're done and everything. So stand by for that. Thankfully, it only took me 12 hours to print the jacket, which, considering the first test print I did of this one, that took 17 hours. So 12 hours, not that bad actually, in the grand scheme of things. I was quite pleased getting it down to 12, which basically means I can stick it on overnight, go to bed, wake up halfway through the day, jobs are good and ready to go. So whilst we're getting the other print to remove that, hopefully I won't lose my space. Let's put this beautiful head sculpt painted by Fetclone out the way now, because we don't want to damage that, because seriously, look how gorgeous that is. Phenomenal work. It looks so cool. We'll put him up there, and then we'll take our headless hand and then break it down as best as we possibly can. So we've got the hands on the roly-polies. Got the sleeves. Do let me know if everything is okay with the audio. It does actually, doesn't it? I do quite dig it. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of things people could use it for other customs as well. So let's have that slide off. So as you can see, when I've designed the 3D print here, tried to emulate as best as possible like actual Hasbro print, Hasbro parts. So we've got these little bits as well that help it flex when it's on the figure, and to not make it so bulky, we've got the vest kind of as part of that print as well. So I apologize, I'm probably gonna have to get the hair dryer to try and heat this up to get these arms out. But as you can see, they peg in really well into the new Han Solo body. So let's just, oh hello. Thank you for the sub. So let's get the old hair dryer on the go. Hopefully it's not deathly loud. So yes, those are the indie arms from the adventure series Indiana Jones. So you should be able to use them, no problem. As you can see, they just pop in really, really easily. The flex parts that, or the more flexible plastics that they use for the butterfly joints, are really good for this. And as you can see, this is my initial print of the shirt. And then, well, they say don't skip leg day, but clearly somebody needs to never skip lifting weights. Right, let's get this print. Okay, so I just want to test this new shirt. I must say, I can't claim ownership for the idea of using the indie arms. That is down to Jason, who's the guy who's commissioned me to make this. So shout out to him. I am fulfilling his dream of having every indie on his shelf. So there we go. New shirt, completely 3D sculpted and 3D printed to fit around the pre-existing Han Solo torso. This test print, it was supposed to be the final print, but we had an issue with the Elegoo Saturn S was overexposing things. So basically the bottom of the print was just completely just melted away and stuck to the print bed. So we just lost all of that. So that's gone now. Don't need that. But as you can see, I've mimicked the original Hasbro sculpt as best as one possibly can. So it'll glue down the sides, and we've got a little tab section inside. So when you're painting it, building it, you've got a tab to put your glue on just inside here. Close it around. And then at the front, once the duster and everything's on it, it'll look all nice and ready to go. So there we go. Stand by. It has been a Wednesday. Oh, it's bloody hell, Thursday. It has been a Thursday today. Shout out to Lubu, my poor little Lubu. She had a nasty accident today with a till register dropped on her foot, so she's not very well. But shout out, sending the best wishes to GI Trooper Lou. She's on her happiness kind of spread of watching Harry Potter. So we've just watched Philosopher's Stone, or if you're American, Sorcerer's Stone. That was my terrible accent. I'm awfully sorry. I never really found out why did they change it. So we watched that today, and then I think later on in the month we've got to watch the Chamber of Secrets, and then after that we've got to go to York. Because York, if you've not been to York here in the UK, it's possibly one of the most beautiful cities around. Look at this. Sorry to interrupt myself. Look how cool this is. Oh my god. I love this so much. I love the way that they've engineered these new figures to do that. They have it on the new Endor figure. And I just think it's so good for like customizing. Plus, that seems to be like it seems to be like almost like a universal part, it seems. So like I'm wondering whether or not if that is the same as the Endor one. So if you did break this, you might be able to just swap them out. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy like the hands and whatever. There's still plenty of other things that I need to try and make. I have like a list as long as my house at this point. So many things to make, so little time. Mad for it. We're in Manchester. We're making stuff. But don't ask me to listen to any Oasis, though, whatever you bleeding do. I don't mind a bit of Oasis, but... Oh, bloody hell, that was a bit hard to get undone, wasn't it? Bleeding neck. Yeah, I must admit, like, has Army Rank Strike been popular? Honestly, it kind of has. think we had a few people that have put it in the basket, which is kind of neat. I need to get around to making more decal designs and whatever. I've got to change illustration programs coming up, which is I'm not looking forward to that, because I really like my current illustration program. It's really nice. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, these Indians. Right, okay. So, I'm getting all our individual parts. Now, he has... I'm fairly certain... These are red in A New Hope. But they are... I think they're yellow. Are they yellow? I'm pretty sure those are yellow in Return of the Jedi, aren't they? Because I have just realized... Oh, I can see it in some of the concept art drawings. Please don't be yellow. I'm fairly certain they are yellow. No. Is it coming up in here? I'm going to say that they are yellow. Chat, are they yellow? Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, that, the hypnotized indie figure is an amazing figure. Like, I really wish they'd done like more runs of that, because I had a project in mind that I was like, I really wanted to use it for, but to try and get that in the UK right now is really hard. Like, loads of the other indie figures are super easy to get, but that just hypnotized one just seems to be an absolute ball ache to try and get. This means if they are yellow and the pants are more brown, I think you're right, because I'm kind of remembering when he does that whole yay when he's trying to blow up the Endor bunker, which basically means that in order to paint these, I'm gonna have to paint them white first, and then I'm gonna have to go and put like the yellow over the top of them to get that really pop. So that will be interesting. Right, stand by. Boots, I'm not too fussed about. I'm not too concerned about the boots. I don't think we'll need to take them apart, because what I think when we do get to doing these boots, which again, shout out to Hasbro's engineering for like making these pop apart all individual parts so much better. We'll just put like another gloss coat over them, and then what we'll do is we'll put like maybe some like kind of grey washes on like the edge of the bottom, so they've got bits of dirt in. Maybe add like a spray pass of like matte, so that you can get like the shine of the upper bit, and then like a matte on the toe cap, so as it gets scuffed and everything as he's going through the woodland. One of the things that I did used to do, and I kind of think might be something that we should do, is that because obviously he's on Endor and that's a forest moon of Endor, is to add a bit of mud on the boots as well. But we'll tackle that bit when we get to it. It's so helpful. So helpful, that dabbing boot swivel. Right, okay. I'm so happy with that. Oh, that's gonna look so cool when it's on there. Somebody's gonna be a very happy boy when he gets this. Right, okay, so let's prepare. We've all got all the individual parts all broken down. now I need to put that over there. I think we probably will use that for the actual trench coat. That's AK Light Earth. They're quite good paints. They are quite watery though, but I'm sure that'd be good for it. Yes, everything that I have got another project that's currently with a very special somebody in LA at the moment. That is being worked on, and as soon as that's done, that'll be going on the store as well. So yes, this indie kit will go on the store at some point as well, and I think that will be basically the shirt and the this thing. What? Come on, brain. What is it? What is it? What is it? Trench coat, duster, floppy thing. Who cares? But they think we'll do like a version. So we just got the hands vest inside of it. We'll do a version where it's just this, so you probably could use it for like an Endor Rebel. Hey, Dada. Hey, not long until I'm in Liège. Not long now. Right, okay, stand by. Let's move this out of the way. I think I'm gonna have to do some color correction on this bit because I think the skin tone's quite noticeably different. And I think I know what I'm gonna have to do. We've got, so looking at this now, try and see that. See his skin tone's different. I spoke to the maestro, the master himself, and I think he uses some of these paint colors. So what we'll do is we'll get this partly sprayed up with this, and then once we do get to blending it, we'll use this as a base coat, put a load of lacquer stuff on it. Oh mate, I've seen Talon's work on that. He's been sending me DMs about it for months, and I've been helping him out with a few comments here and there. I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore that design. It's on my radar. Like, I love it so much. It's one thing I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I really think the Force Unleashed Phase 3 Trooper, not the ugly duckling one from the PS3 version, the Triton Trooper that we did with Cameron Customs, shout out to my bro. When me, Talon, and Cameron did that project, that to me is the true Phase 3. I'm not a massive fan of the TK Trooper, except for Talon's design. It just looks gorgeous. But anyway, yeah, sorry. As I was saying, apologies. This that'll be mixed in with that, and we'll use some clear Tamiya paints to blend it all in and whatnot. Right. Okay. So let's. Oops, shit. Apologies, I've just done my microphone off. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's have a good old check of the old airbrush. So we just came back me and Lubu just came back from holiday to the gorgeous place that is Christchurch in Dorset. Well worth checking out if you ever want a beautiful seaside getaway. So let's just give it a good old clean. I think that might be okay. I need to work out like a better setup with this because I'm currently using like an old iPhone as a camera. It works all right, but I don't like it. It's not the full picture in landscape. Let's move it out of the way. just skip that. Once again, shout out for if you ever need to revitalize old brushes. This stuff's the go. Amazing, strips paint off like nobody's business. Okay, give this a good clean out on the inside. Get all that good airbrush in. Okay. No, the handhead is a Fet Clone one. I'm no way near Fet Clone's expertise, although he has tutored me into doing some head paints, which I think I am quite proud of some of them. Obviously, they'll be nowhere near as good as Fet Clone because he is amazing, but for my standards, I'm extremely happy with him. I'm always trying out like new techniques when it comes to like head painting. Like today, I just went to Elemental Games and picked up some more lacquer-based paints. Right, okay, so let's get our forbidden shish kebabs on the go. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. It's weird because like I've seen like quite a few tutorials of how other people do it, and a lot of the ways that they do it kind of just like for me like don't really work. But I think that's usually because I've lost a lot of like the knowledge of I don't know what type of paints that they're using, so I'm lost on that. But I think I've kind of worked it out now, and I can knock them out reasonably quick. Oh, thank you. That Dedra was definitely done with Fet Clone's like kind of techniques of how he told me to like layer up different types of paints and lacquers to help paint flow, and then I used all the green stuff wall paints for that one to get all the different like flesh tones. I will say these paints are really, really good, like really good. The only downside is the bottles are they're awful. Like the paint dries up in them, so I've just had to go out and buy a whole new set of them. Which is kind of cool. But I have actually got more that I didn't get beforehand, so I've got more skin tones that I can actually use as well. There we go. I love Green Stuff World's paints though. They're so good. I have such a hate relationship with Vallejo at the minute, just because of how many bad paint mixes I've had and them going proper gunky inside the airbrush. And he says that, but I did just go up and pick some Feldgrau today for some Imperials to have that nice grey-green kind of uniform look that the Imperials seem to have. So we'll be testing that out, because I did some head sculpts the other day using Moth Jared, and this was like my own custom mix for the grey green. It seemed to work out all right, but it's a bit of a pain in the ass to constantly keep mixing it. So one of these is definitely spoken for at the minute. The other one is a maybe at this point, but I'm quite pleased with it. But I do get to that point where I don't know if everyone else is like, when you're painting stuff, you get that like, oh my god, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate this, I hate everything about it. Start again. And then you either persevere or start again. Oh, no problems at all. I'll let you know how the Feldgrau actual paint mix actually works as well, like if it's actually even worth it. It'll be interesting to see. Right, let's get this base printed black. I think I need to proper disassemble my airbrush and give it a quick clean before we progress any further, because me thinks it's got some gunky stuff in it. There we go. The this 3D print, basically what I'd done is I'd got the pre-existing part, scanned it in, and then built a base layer over the top of it, and then just sculpted in almost like the new collar, the new flap, and then the over flap that's in the costume as well. So, hey Hasbro, hit me up if you want this file. You can have it. Probably won't. I'd be surprised if anyone Hasbro even knew who I was. Oh god, yeah. This is why I never try and color match with figures. So one of the things, and I picked this up, I think, from something Camino and Custom said, is that he was saying that some of the plastic mixes for the figures themselves, they're not like a pure white. They have like a tinge to them. So sometimes they can have a tinge of like a yellow or a pinky kind of thing to it. So they're not like properly white, which is why I just constantly if I'm ever doing like a new figure, I just completely repaint it, and then you can be guaranteed that like it's going to be completely correct all over the figure. It is a pain in the ass, but it's nothing worse than seeing like a 3D print on top of like a base figure, and then you can just clearly see the color difference. Oh my god. Yes, definitely. Wish list. Number one wish list that I want a Zamwazel figure. I want a Zamwazel figure with a swappable head so that you can have her alien head and then her human head. And it'd be really cool if I'd buy a Dulux of her like in a heartbeat, but I don't think Hasbro would ever make a Dulux of her. So I would settle for it having like swappable head and like see the faceplates. I don't think the faceplate would probably work because she has a different neck and you can see the neck, so it'd have to be a swappable head, which definitely would work given the fact that we've just had the Stranger and it comes with a neck peg and a head. So I definitely think it can be done. So I definitely have that. That's my number one. In terms of another figure which I'd really want, I'd have to have a think. Because a part of me is that I will say I'm pretty spoiled. That like if there's anything that I want, I'll just make it myself. So I have to try and think of what kind of characters would I want to be done by Hasbro really properly and well done. Dirge, have the realistic interpretation of Dirge from Clone Wars, definitely. Just basically, I mean, Skylar did this amazingly. Like, he's done a really good job at this. Just like completely upscale the smaller figure. I'd buy that any day. Oh my god, Frederick, I can't wait. Like I can't wait. You gotta show some pics on the old DMs of that one. Can't wait. My theory is they were going to be making. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Geonosians would be like a good shout as well. Get some of those on the go so the commandos can stomp those bugs. Everybody knows it's all. Everybody wants Sunfac. Everybody wants Sunfac to be able to Delta Squad to stomp them. We've got to find Sunfac and eliminate him. Helps if I put the bloody tube in, don't it? Reading it. Right, there we go. Yeah, that's a good shout. The Imperial there. Do you know what? Actually, now that you've reminded me, yes. So a lot of what I want as new figures are like, I kind of want retools of them all. I want a new retooled like X-wing Luke, just because that original figure, it's great and everything for like nostalgia because it was the first Black Series I got, and I got it on day one release back in like 2013 and everything. But man, that figure is showing its bloody age now. It's so old. I want that completely retooled and redone, a new Luke. I'd be kind of down if they did like some more. The Rebel pilots from A New Hope, but I kind of feel like I'm probably going to be wishing for that one because I think I might just be in the minority with it. This keeps coming up on like Out of the Basement and the MNF boys. New Snowtrooper, something that wouldn't be I'd kind of like. I was kind of pleased that we got a new Sand Trooper, but unfortunately, it was two steps forward, one step backwards with that one. It's not perfect, so it's going to need some work on it. With the details, are like there's a really good attempt with that new Sand Trooper, like a really good attempt. Like I'm really happy that they've got like the new ab pieces which are correct to the Sand Troopers, but the side plates look like they're from the Rogue One, so I'm gonna have to do some jiggery pokery to try and get that to be done like a proper A&H one. I have got a project that I want to basically blow people's socks off with A&H Stormtroopers, but I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to do for other people first before I can put all my attention on personal projects at the minute. It's kind of, I'm very happy that there's, but I do really want to do that A&H stuff work again. Oh no, not a blue tech. I think I'd like Porkins. Porkins would be quite fun as a little character. He's a bit of a, as a glup shitter. I'm not 100% certain how many other people would want a Porkins. I'd buy a Porkins. I'd want a Gold Leader. I'd want a Dutch Vandar. Sorry, Hutch Vandar, not Dutch Vandar. If you don't know the reason why I say that, that's because obviously there's a bit of debate around whether or not is he called Dutch, is he called Hutch. A lot of figures would call him Dutch, but the subtitles say Hutch, and I believe the name Hutch is a reference to the Dambusters, because the cinematographer for Star Wars: A New Hope worked on the Dambusters. Cool. But I don't expect anybody here to have watched the Dambusters. We need more Yavin representation. Like I kind of want I want a Cyril. I was wondering whether or not if the reason why we don't have a Cyril at the minute, I wonder if that's maybe the actor not want action figures of himself. Because it does seem like weird that he's such a prominent character, yet we haven't got like a single figure of him yet. If I was to have a figure of Cyril, Dodonna, yeah, need him. Where's if we have to figure of Cyril, I'd probably would want his corpo uniform. Hey man. Just because I think the corpo uniform from season 1 would be more of like akin to an action figure, or maybe get that Gorman Massacre kind of look for Cyril, where he looks a bit disheveled. I think making a proper Grievous would be cool as well. I need to do like a proper shelf tour at some point, because I've never actually done one of those. Show people what my collection is like at the minute. I've put a load of figures in storage at the minute. It's just occurred to me, Frederick, that we're both working on something for our dear New Yorker, and he's probably going to get them at this exact same time, and he's going to lose his mind and be so happy. Okay. Oh, well, that really sucks. Right, well, we need to do something for Kyle then. Next time Kyle's at our convention, if he's here, we need to do something for him. Someone's not already done it. We need to make sure if we do a Cyril, he needs to have bed flopping action. Such a mood. I love that. Instead of other ones, like what other figures would I want? I think realistically, I'm quite happy with the TIE Fighter pilot that I recently made, but I think again, if I'm speaking for the community, you definitely need a new TIE Fighter pilot, because that original one is just, as they say in Germany, Scheiße. Kyle Solar, he is a good bean. A bean of good. Another thing I definitely want is more Knights of the Republic stuff as well. Like official Knights of the Republic stuff. It's kind of wild that we've got Bastila, we've got Mallet, which is good. They're like, I'd say the two most iconic characters from Knights of the Republic. Along with Revan as well, of course, which was very, very foolish of me. Karth, yes, Karth. He's on my list. He's on my list. I did have a head sculpt commissioned for that, but unfortunately that fell through. So I either need to get a move on and make a head sculpt myself, as well as like. See, the thing is with Karth, if you look at his design, he has these really weird kind of like almost like elbow pads that go over the shoulder and down, and then there's like a gap between like this kind of vest thing. So it was kind of one of them things where it was like, how does one engineer that where you can have like the range of motion, so you can have like the figure's arms still move around and not be caught with like this flex bit stuck here and then going down the arm. It's the one thing I keep looking at and go, how am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to make that work? Jesus, could I sound any more Mancunian? Bleeding. Okay. Let's do his crotch. Oh, thanks, dude. I'm really happy with that mission kit. That was, I think the mission kit was my first foray into sculpting fabric. It was that long ago, doing like the vest and everything. This is not coming out. I have to bleed and clean this out. Yeah, it's getting a bit gunky, isn't it? the fun that you have with doing customs and models kits and everything. Like, you should see how many model kits that I've got up in these shelves at the minute that are waiting to be done. I was supposed to do more when I was on holiday, but me and Lou were just enjoying the seaside too much. Having ice cream, feeding the ducks, because we're 12 apparently. It was fun. So it was a nice holiday. Come on, you El Ghetto. Off to Liège at the end of this month. Doing my old World War II shenanigans. And then in October, around Halloween, I'm going over to Richmond, Virginia. First time back in the States in a long time. And I say long time, like 1998. So that is like a different world at this point. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to a Halloween party, which is really cool, because Halloween over here in the UK is like nothing. Is nothing like it is obviously in America from what we've seen. So I'm going to try and get Halloween costume of Martin McFly sorted, instead of taking all my Star Wars costumes. So I've got to source a lot of the 1980s stuff and then try and grow my hair out as fast as one possibly can in a few weeks. Is there anything else you collect or customize besides Star Wars? So, collection-wise, I have a massive collection of World War II militaria downstairs. Specifically United States militaria, before anybody starts getting a bit twitchy. Got a few bits of modern militaria and all the stuff that I've seen me to do reenacting. I see, that's because you're educated, Daniel. You're educated. So yeah, I got if when I'm not buying like action figures, it's buying dusty old bits of uniforms and what have you. In terms of like other figures, there isn't anything except for I have got my first Marvel Legends figure on the way, which is Rogue from X-Men, because I love X-Men, the original X-Men, and X-Men Evolution. X-Men Evolution was more my thing because that hit me when I was a teenager at the time and I was at school. So that was definitely my jam. And I have so many projects that I want to do, and I want to make some X-Men Evolution figures, like fully 3D sculpt them, fully 3D print them, add to my portfolio to try and like increase my skill set of making my own action figures from start to bottom. And again, it's like I need to practice on doing it. I need to work on using ZBrush because I'm using Blender at the minute, and Blender is a great program, but it does have its limitations, and I'm basically running up against those limitations right now. But yeah, so collection-wise, it's just militaria bits, and then action figures. I used to collect video games and obviously play video games, but I've kind of gone off video games, pretty much because of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That game broke me because I spent 120 hours on that game for such a weak storyline. I was so disappointed when we got to the end of that game. I think I need to get a new bottle of primer because that one's getting a bit empty. So I'll have to go back to Elemental Games tomorrow. I have also Johnny's still not coming. Oh, that's cool. J Custom Figures is a good bloke. He's a good bloke. Hey. Hey, Jason. Happy as Larry. Yeah, but Valhalla was just shit. Like, I was so happy. I was like, oh, it's England. England's in the game. This is going to be really cool. Oh, it's Northumbria. It's all the north. And I was like, when does the story get good? And then it ends, and I'm like, well, that was dog shit. And I'm running 20 hours of my life I'm never getting back. And then what do I have to show for this? Nothing. I got nothing out of this. But me and oh, of course, has to be done. Of course, I could feel my ears bleeding, burning. Yeah, I just don't. I don't have time for like playing video games as long as I used to. If I do now, it's usually like, as Shark knows, like going back and playing a bit of War Thunder, a bit of Hell Let Loose, a bit of Battlefield. I'm so excited for Battlefield 6. Are we back, boys? We could be back. Who knows? Are we back? If the rumors are true, and I can run around Battlefield 6 with the United States' superb M1 Garand, I'll be happy. Quick local hobby shop. Have fun. Get some nice paints. What are you airbrushing? We are so back. It does feel. Yeah, I too. I'd rather have some, and I don't know if it's like, is it like, I see memes about it. It's like an adult thing. It's like when you get a certain age, you're like, I want something to show for my time, and spending 120 hours on like a video game just to then say, oh, I've done it. It's like, it's great when you're like in your teens and you've got nothing else better to do, but when you're like approaching 35, as I totally am not, yeah, I want to see that I've got something at the end of it. You need to visit the Spring Fair. Oh, dude, I really do. So, like, for those who are not really that bothered about guns and everything, but I'm coming out here. I'm telling you, man, my favorite gun. My two favorite firearms in all the time. First and foremost, the BAR. Got a deactivated one downstairs, and it's my first and only deac. And then it's the M1 Garand, and I've got an M1 Garand upstairs in the gun cabinet. So fun. I used to like the Thompson, but I've used the Thompson enough times now to not like it. It's too heavy, it's too bulky, and it jams a lot. Or at least the one I had jammed a lot. Oh, nice. I saw one of the early production M1 Garands with the gas trap that was on display. I think it was at Leeds Armory a long time ago. That's a good place to go to. So I back the camera. Leeds Armory is a place that everybody should go to at some point. They've got so many cool things. If you're not interested in firearms, they've got a shit ton of swords, shields, bows and arrows. If you're into pop culture, they've got an example of the pulse rifle from Aliens there, from Bapti, as well as some of the Star Wars New Hope E11s and DH17s. And they're kind of cool. Yeah, it's a mega heft, the Thompson. I will say though, my favorite, if I do have to pick a favorite version of the Thompson, it's the 28 model. 1928 model with the hammer on the top. The one that you always see in the gangster films. That one's fun. It's got the Cook's compensator on the front of it. And even if you're firing blanks at the front of it, the Cook's compensator basically makes all these like sparks come out the front, or at least it looks like sparks. And that just looks really cool when you're firing it. Also, shout out, Sash, a little bit of a Craig bit of trivia for you. It is indeed the Chicago typewriter. If you ever watch a really terrible war film called Allies, and it is awful, bloody awful. It's like a B movie, but with it's like a B movie. It was made here in the UK, and it has a few like famous people in it. I was in that film, and I was an extra. And it was a really funny bit in it where we got hired as extras to turn up in all of our World War II kit. And the director was like saying, like, yeah, we're gonna have you on there. We're gonna have this big battle scene. We're gonna have you all like running in, firing guns. Who knows how to fire guns? And I was like, oh, I do. I know how to fire guns. I've got firearms and used firearms before. I said, oh, what firearm have you used? I said, oh, 28 model Thompson, M1 Garand, BAR. I said, right, well, we've got a 28 model Thompson. You can have the 28 model Thompson. So I was like, all right, free gun, free film. Getting paid to be here. This is kind of cool. And we waited and waited all day. Pretty much 90% of my experience in the film industry is waiting when I've done extras work. And we were at this point where it was getting dark. They had 2 Sherman tanks there and all these like armored cars and everything, and they were trying to wait to finish this battle. And just as the light was leaving, they said, right, get on, quick, get on the set. We've got to do this big battle. Hurry up. And they chucked me in his Thompson. I'm like, there you go. Have that. Get on the set. Do the battle. But there was no script. There was no rehearsal. It was just run around and fire the gun and look cool. So I looked where the camera was, and I was a little cheeky git. And the minute they said, right, action, I ran forward, fired off a few bursts with the Thompson, and then immediately stood in front of the camera, full shot, fired off about 3 rounds, and then ran forward. And I thought, good, that'll definitely get me in the film. And it did. It did. So there's like a big center shot of me just doing like this really bad Judge Dredd face where I'm firing this Thompson, just going, yeah. I didn't even realize he was doing it, but it looks kind of cool. My granddad was like super happy about it because he loved war films. So he was like, oh, we've got my grandson's in a war film. That's so cool. It was quite fun. So that ticked it off a bucket list. Being in a war film. That was kind of cool. Maybe one day, for the amount of Star Wars productions that could and couldn't be happening, if I can be an extra in one of those, that's the last thing to do. I don't even care. I'd love to be a stormtrooper, but let's be honest, I'm 5'7". I'm too bleeding short to be a stormtrooper. So, knowing my luck, they'll either chuck me in as a bleeding Jawa, or some random denizen like walking about, milling about in the background, which I wouldn't be bothered about. That'd be cool. If only I'd known. If only I'd known about the dates of when Endor was filming over here. Which, there's a funny story with that. So we have obviously, as many of you know, there are like garrisons all across the world where costumers will do Star Wars costuming, right? And in the UK, at the time, they were making the first and season of Endor. There was all these articles were going, oh, major Star Wars film being shot at Cleveland's. Cleveland's is up north near Southport, and it's where they filmed the Neamos stuff, like the beach scene. Like, I'm just a tourist. And it got around like, Star Wars filming in the north. Oh my God, Star Wars filming in the north. And we've got this, in this garrison that I'm a part of, there's this guy called Ken. And Ken is an absolute bloody legend, right? He's like 50 odd, or he's probably about 60 odd now, actually, come to think of it. And he's like 5'2" or 5'3". Or maybe 5'4", actually. He's bloody tiny, and he loves Star Wars. He's mad for it. And his costume that he does is that he gets dressed up as Grand Moff Tarkin, which is quite fun because he's like Grand Moff Tarkin and Peter Cushing was like pushing like 6 foot. So Ken's like the littlest Tarkin, and he got wind of it, and he lives up north near where they were filming it, and he basically got dressed up as Grand Moff Tarkin, and every single day he would go to the filming, hanging around near all the film trucks in his costume, saying, "Do you want me on set? You'll have me. Would you have me? Can I be on?" And they were just like, "No, you're not coming on." But he got another local newspaper and everything. Just hanging around like the film trucks. So what an absolute legend. I had a love for him if he got in it. Oh yeah, Imperial Army all the way. I actually low-key love the Imperial Army though. Hey, don't knock it. Sometimes it works. Like that's the kind of way it worked back in the day. Oh, yeah, that's true. False perspectives. That's also a pen. He's a good lad, is that, Ken? One of the great things that I love about like this, but like, you make so many great characters. It's amazing. Oh bloody hell! We've made a mess, everyone. We've made a mess. Yeah, film work's quite fun. Like doing the extras work. If you put another order in, I'll combine them for you, mate, and I'll refund you the postage. So you're not paying twice. I'm stuck at the minute because my neighbour's got like new boxes. DHL decided to be goobers. I'm beginning to think I might need to start thinning this down because it's being a bit too splatter. Normally it doesn't need it. I think we might have to. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, solo figures are really good. I was watching Maxim ZBrush, the company that obviously makes ZBrush. They've done a couple of streams, and one of the Hasbro designers did like a TED Talk kind of thing, how Hasbro do the sculpting ones, and all the solo figures I think were among the first, some of the first waves of where they went completely digital with making their figures, and he has a really good breakdown of how they actually made the figures and how all the articulation is down to cylinders and spheres. I think I've watched that seminar like 4 times now, trying to understand how he's done stuff. And that was a really good stream of him that they did to try and showcase how you can actually make stuff. Well worth checking it out if you've got like 4 hours to like doing nothing, by the way. Oh my god. Well, if things start picking up, Frederick, I'll make the journey. The Hobbit will go on another epic adventure. I identify as a Hobbit. I'm from England and I'm short as fuck, so I don't care at this point. It's fun. Plus, Dominic Monaghan's from Stockport, / great. Yeah, Dominic Monaghan, who plays Mary. He's from Stockport, my hometown. Why is it doing this? This is on. Which is on? What's on YouTube, buddy? Which one? Sorry. I think I stroked out. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, there we go. I have that. Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, that is on YouTube. Yeah, that's on YouTube. Just type ZBrush. Type ZBrush Star Wars Black Series stream, and it should come up. And he goes through like the design aspects for the monkey guy from Solo, the one that's voiced by Jon Favreau, and Kira as well. So Kira's figure has a nice breakdown, as well as the Rebels Ahsoka as well. Right, okay. We're going to have to use some flow improver on this one because the airbrush, I think maybe this paint mix is quite old now because I've been using it constantly. So we're getting clogs all the time. So where is the flow improver? Shit. Okay. There we go. Right. Let's have a look. And we'll get my cup. We'll blast some paint cleaner through it. I have seen it, and I gotta say, Beba did a good meme for it. I like this, but this is better. I'm not. I personally. Oh yeah, 5 hours. It's long, but it's worth it, lads. Yeah, I'm not too fussed. I'm not a massive cloner for CG Clone Wars. I've watched them all, but it doesn't hold like a massive love in my heart like the 03 Clone Wars did, because that hit when I was a lot younger, and which is why I just have such a love for P1s and all that kind of stuff. So I like it. It's all right, but it wouldn't be. It has to be something truly special for me to go out and buy a Hot Toys. I've only got three Hot Toys. I've got Mud Trooper Han, because Mud Troopers are cool as fuck. I've got the Stormtrooper Commander from Mando Season 2, but that's just because I got that at Celebration, and I wanted to have like a, when you buy like a collectible, so that you've got a memory attributed to like a con that you went to. Like I was pushing the boat out with that one. I got it for that one, so I've got a Stormtrooper in the collection. Then I've got the Dulux 501st, which I literally only got so that I could scale prints and do some stuff tests with. And then I got the Sideshow Phase 1 clone. Hot Toys are like not really my thing. I kind of like having little and often, or maybe little and every now and then with buying collectibles. And I am happy that they have done like proper OT specific Stormtroopers, but as a bit of a Stormtrooper purist, I just find the faults in the helmet sculpts, and it really bugs me. Like, because I'm spoiled and I've got, here's one I prepared earlier, this 3D print file of a proper A New Hope Stormtrooper. Looking at how the Hot Toys ones, for some reason, they always make the mouth area here, really quite far down, and it just looks weird. It almost looks like a Droopy McCool, kind of like Snoopy kind of thing. So I'd have to get it, and because I've got this, I'd have to paint this and try and color match it to the plastic, or maybe just repaint the whole thing. because I just don't like the Hot Toys ones that they've got. So at some point, maybe just make a complete custom Hot Toys. But when am I going to have the time for that? I need to be cloned at this point. I just don't have enough time. I think I'm working on average about 6 days a week, maybe 12, 14 hours a day, which I don't mind because I love my job. I'm not complaining at all. I do genuinely love my job. Just wish I had more time. Okay, so we get that flowing poo there, and let's get that mixed together. And hopefully we don't have any more spurting incidents. Right, there we go. Jolly good. Yeah. And there's another thing, like Dad asked earlier on about is there any other figures that I'd want to collect. Now, I have just been found out in the last recent months that there's a company called Facepool. I think it's called Facepool, and they do like amazing, like historical, like 12-inch, like collectible figures. They're really expensive, but they look amazing. I've often thought about starting collecting those, but again, it's like you run up against, even in historical collectibles, there are still mistakes. So it's like nothing's ever perfect. But having said that, they did just do from the Pacific, Snafu and Sledgehammer, and they are perfect. So somehow is that. Yeah, so it must be Facepool then. It must be Facepool. Their stuff's pretty good. Some of the DID stuff's quite cool as well. Seems to be going on a bit better now. Still having a bit of a padding. Sorry, I've gone quiet because one's brain only works at certain amounts. As I've said, I'm always running on Windows 95 over here, so there's only so much RAM. Did you ever collect the Ultimate Soldier figures? No, but I think I know which ones you're talking about. Sorry, I've just got to plug the camera in because it's flashing up. It's not happy. Oh god, no, wrong one. Yeah, hold up a minute. Sorry. Sorry, gentlemen or ladies, I don't know how, or whatever you want to refer to yourself as. Let's just plug this in. There we go. Okay, jolly good show. And is that charging? We'll just have to assume that it is. The ultimate ones, I don't know. I'd have to. Someone sent me a picture on Instagram. I ended up getting a few back when I was at college. I don't know if they're the same things. That's fucking watering now, isn't it? Get to see me struggle in real time when I'm trying to airbrush stuff. Let's have a look. Ultimate Soldier 3 something. Let's have a look. I'm Googling. And my phone just died. Perfect. So now I can't see chat. Right, well, give me a minute. Awkward. Has been on non-stop for like an hour, so we can, let's see. In the meantime, whilst that's waiting, so I can't view chats at the minute whilst I faff about with this. So you'll have to give me a minute whilst we wait for that to come back online, because my iPhone is it's knocking on a bit at the minute. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. Made a lot of special modifications for myself. So, in a rush. That doesn't work. Apparently the PlayStation can't charge that. Of course. Why else would it not? So give me a second, chat. Let's focus on the job at hand, shall we? Right, okay. So we need to wait for that to dry, I think, too. Okay, there we go. Something's definitely wrong with my airbrush. I can't remember what it is. I might need to have a complete de-strip of that to check out what's going on down the tubes. I need to upgrade to a new compressor at some point, because this one's it does the job, but it's really old. Okay, there we go. Right, we're back. Let's have a look. Are these the ones that I collected? Oh wow, okay, they look cool. No, oh wait, it's not Elite Force, is it? That's a Joy Toy thing. That's that I'm coming up. Maybe I'm not looking at the right ones. I'll have to have a look at that later on. See what pops up. I think I got other ones because I remember there was a shop here in the UK called Model Zone back in the day, and they used to have those kind of things. But the ones that I ended up getting just like dog shit. So they might not be the same ones. Let's just give this a blast. Any suggestions how I can make my punishment better? I'll have to look at later on, mate, for your pictures on Insta, just so my phone's on charge at the minute. Okay. So we've got those there. We've got all the parts primed and ready to go. So they're just drying at the moment now. Now we've got the torso, like I said. We're not going to do anything with that, I think, today, because I'm going to have to basically spray it all, lacquer it all, and then blend it into the head. I might have to do some washes on the hand parts to try and get a bit more like of a fleshy red kind of like flush to them. But we are going to need to prime this as well. So let's do that now. To get the vest off is pretty easy. So you've got to put it in boiling water. And if you put it in boiling water, you can pull the chest up through the top of the vest, of the shirt. There is like, obviously like my 3D print, there's a tab at the side, but it's quite difficult to get into when it's on the figure itself. So just put it in boiling water, slide the inner chest up, and it should pop out quite easily. I was originally going to cut it off, but Jason told me there was an easy way to get it off using boiling water. So if you're in the UK, get your kettle, get some hot water from your kettle, and shove it in a mug and pull it apart. However, if you're in the States, shove your water in the microwave and give it a good heat. I do know kettles are a thing in the US, don't worry. Right, okay. So we're making pretty good progress. We're about halfway through the stream, so that's quite good. Probably going to do like a 2-hour run on this today. Yes, I will, Jason. I will let you know. There's it's definitely the hypnotized indie that I want, because I have, in the words of Baldric, I have a cunning plan, and I think the hypnotized indie might be a really good base to make an Anakin Skywalker from 03 Clone Wars when he's on Yavin, because I could probably make some battle tattered clothes, sculpt them on around that body, and then that way you can have that kind of fight represented on the figures as well. I'm not having a good time with the airbrush today, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a bit problematic. Sorry, it's not exactly very exciting footage at the minute, me priming. But hopefully the natter and the yapping's good. Oh my god, yeah. Season 2 was great. Like, I loved how like they all mixed in really well to episode 3. One thing that I kind of always felt like the CG Clone Wars did feel a little bit in its own universe at times. I don't know if that's just me being an old unk. Okay, there we go. Going out quite low. Nice now. Got a beautiful matte finish to it. Because your matte base layer, if you have a really good matte base layer, it will make your color layers on top look really, really nice and flat. So if you're ever wanting to try and make a good kind of fabricy kind of cottony base, the matte base primers are really good for that, to basically really help sell that matte finish of like what fabric has, especially for like shirts, flight suits, all that kind of stuff. And then if you do highlight pass as well, you can do the glazing effects of the colours over the top of it as well. So we'll do one more pass with this, and I think what we'll do is, in order to give you a bit of nice content, we'll do the boots. Oh my god, come on. See, I'm out here gassing up bloody Green Stuff World's bloody primer, and it's not coming out the bloody tub. Not exactly a very good endorsement. Okay, so that's that. Get off. Get off. Concentrate. Okay, get my cotton bud. Toothpick. There we go. Looking a bit gloopy. Oh my god, Tamaya kits are great for that. I have a few here, so I've got my sand. Oh, okay, apparently that isn't working. Got my sand and the light sand and mud one. Yeah, orange rush, silver, and gunmetal. Because the silver and the gunmetal ones are really good for when you're doing blasters. So you can just use those brushes to like touch over it. Just give me a sec, everybody. I think the camera is not charging for some weird reason. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. This just is not like wanting. It's not just wanting to charge. I might have to. Yeah, I think I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Okay, that should hopefully be charging the phone now, so you don't lose out on the stream. Sorry about that. I will get a proper setup one day, I promise. Still very novel at this right now. So, okay. Before I was so rudely interrupted. Finish those matte layers now. We'll go over and do a last check of all the parts using matte primer. I'm going to try and do more because I do enjoy doing them, and I do think it is a good. I do think doing the streams are a good way to basically showcase how I do the customs, so that rather than trying to do loads of videos and then try and do all these tutorials and try and think about what are techniques, because I just don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to be able to sit and do that. I've tried numerous times and I've just kind of like end up getting lost between doing commissions and orders and all this kind of stuff. So I just have to be very selective with my time. And the streams seem to be like a really good mix of both worlds, where you can see how I do stuff, how I problem solve when I have hit across like issues, and then hopefully that gives you an insight of how to build things as well. Or I think in many cases not what not to do. Get a bit of a stippling effect on that. Let's check the 3D print, shall we? So, here we go. Yeah, that's all nice and primed really well. Okay. I think we've managed to coat pretty much everything really nicely, except for the barbell bit. That's going to be hidden anyway. So we're going to wait for stuff for that to dry. So we'll just spray the excess off like this. Get that all painted up. You're not going to see this, but there's a part of it. It's like it's part of it. It's part of the build. Get it done. Get it primed. Get it black. And that way it's hidden inside the legs. But there we go. Okay, so we've got everything primed of the base figure. So we'll just give that a few minutes to like cure. Let's just double check. Have we got a good finish on all the parts? Seems to be sticking quite well. And again, as another reason, I quite like how the Green Stuff World primers do stick really well to like the base figures. Because one thing I have found that with Vallejo is that you do seem to get excessive paint chip. With paint not sticking to the plastic as much. I mean, you're always going to get that anyway. But some paints are better than others. These paints are the best for not having paint chipping on them as much, but they stink and you need an airbrush for these. But more importantly, they're super stinky. So I have to use a breather for that. Okay. Right, so let's get some brush magic. Other airbrush cleaners are available. And let's get this shot through, give it a good clean out. And then what we'll do is we'll gloss the boots a bit. And we'll go and do some weathering effects on the boots. And then we can put the boots to one side. Because if you've watched any of the other streams when I've done this, you know that I do like having a bit of boot weathering, as it is quite fun. Right, okay. Okay. Get me all caught. What's everyone's next project that they're working on after this? What's their ideal thing that they would like to build next? Oh, dear me. Kind of want to, for me, I want to redo some of my original paint head sculpts. I looked at my Admiral Ozzel the other day, and at the time I was really happy with the Admiral Ozzel head sculpt that I painted. But now that I know how to properly do them to a better standard, I might flog my old Admiral Ozzel head sculpt and then repaint another one for myself and then just completely repaint that figure. Maybe check out the Feldgrau that I picked up. See how that can look as on a finished figure and everything. Right, okay, so let's give it a bit of blowback. Yeah, nothing's coming up. Okay, there we go. Right, boots. Why has the internet decided to be a piss? That concerns me. Oh, nice. Did you get the old person as well going, eh? Right, okay, so let's get the boots. I hate the bloody rubber covers that they come on the shish kebabs. They always get full up with bloody gunk way too quickly. So that's probably going to need some which completely out. Just oh no. Why is my reenactment friend saying he knows I'm awake? Of course you know I'm awake. I'm bloody streaming, you Burke. Let's get that. Boot. I started putting painter's tape around mine. Oh no, mine ended up falling. Oh no. Hope it didn't break. There's nothing worse than that. My Moff Jared head bloody broke. I got it all. I think I had a grand total of like a day. A grand total of a day. And the bloody figure fell over on the table when I was taking some pictures of it, and it landed right on the peak of the cap and broke the cap peak. So I've got to completely redo mine. Oh right, okay. Gloss, okay. Right, let's gloss. Add a bit of gloss to these boots. Okay, so there we go. There's the one boot done. One boot done. Hopefully not too much repaint on the old Vader frontage, matey. Yeah, definitely need to get a new bottle of primer. I think the matte paint. I've had it quite a while now because this gloss stuff's just going on like a dream. So I would probably say I'm probably at the point of dregs with that matte bottle primer that I've got, which is there's not much left in it really. So yeah. Right, okay, so we need to look at the boots for Endor Han, don't we? Let's have a look. Endor Han Solo. Han Solo. Right, so let's have a look. Is there any shots of his boots aside from toys and everything and cosplayers? Not really. Maybe we try Han Solo ROTJ. Han Solo ROTJ. Okay. Yes, you are right. Brown. So brown trousers. Okay. I want to check. Let's go. Oh yeah, yellow. Yeah. The yellow Caroline stripes, just as you said. Okay. I want to see the boot soles. Are they black? I think maybe they are. I might have to. Let's have a look and see what's in the book. Is there any ref? Okay, so I can just about see. Top left. Han's vest from Jedi was a different pattern than the vest worn in New Hope. Okay. Han's vest featured on lounge, but in reverse. Okay, cool. That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that. Han Solo had a unique jacket for the party at the end that they scrapped. That's kind of awesome. Wookiee hands, maybe. Wookiee hands could be fun to do, but I think I'd have to try and match the fur sculpts. So we'll put a pin in that one. See, this is kind of what I'm trying to find. So I don't know if you can. If I just move this over here now, this is the kind of research that I want to try and do when I'm doing these figure builds. My God, this book is chuffing huge. Let's get that. See, this is kind of details that I want to kind of put in. I don't know if you can kind of see this, but on Princess Leia's boots, there is obviously a different leather kind of bit here. So you've got the glossy boot with a bit of matte, and then there's like a bit of brown leather of where the shoe sole is. Now, if they're the same stock of boot, and of which, again, you can kind of see on the Endor layer, the material color that's being used before they've done the spray paint on the costume, that's the kind of base color we need to paint the vest / the duster that we done for Han. So that's a good reference to be able to look at as well. But I want to find Han Solo's boots. Now, I don't think they've got a reference to it in Return of the Jedi, which is a bit of a shame, unless maybe it's earlier on. Which might. Oh, that's cool. Also, fun fact: when you look at this helmet, that's a Scout Trooper knee plate. The Scout Trooper knee plate that they've cut eye holes on and cast it in black. Oh, the fun that they had. Right. No Han. So Luke Skywalker. Yeah, you can kind of see the textures of Luke's boots there, but there's no Han Solo just yet. I feel like we might have to go off of reference of Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, canonically, it's supposed to be the same outfit anyway. Where the chuff is he? Come on, show me Han Solo. Oh wow, we actually don't. Do we not have anything of Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back at all? That can't be true, surely. Come on, it's gotta be it. Right there. Aha! There we go. Okay, cool. Look. So, yeah. Boots wise. Yeah, I don't know if you can make that out. The bottom sole of the shoe has got like bits of brown like leather that's chipped away. So what we'll do is we'll we'll do that on the bottom sole of the shoe, and then we'll put some washes to basically accentuate some of these details on the actual figure itself. So that's a good reference that I've got there. Right, let's get the old hands back. So look at the boots. And I'm gonna have to give it. This just looks at the scene where he falls out of the net, and you can see it's slightly. Oh, you legend, sir! Thank you so much. That's insanely helpful. Right. Okay. Why does my brain only work at such a speed? I can do it too fast. Right. So let's get all this bleeding cables out of the way. See, now I can't have it plugged in with that because it just doesn't work. And then what we'll do is we'll give them a blast of hot air. So yeah. We need a brown, and I have a NATO brown, which will be a good bit for like a bit of chipped leather at the front. Mm-hmm. So we'll have a dry brush here, like a dedicated dry brush. Then we'll go back, get a bit of the old matte surface primer, and then we'll get my dry brushing station. Like this. Oh, not in this bloody case. That's fine. I've got bits of it. It's fine. We don't need to. We don't need to go mental. So we want to just pick the paint up with the dry brush. I think I'll need more. Get the excess off. And just go over the toe cap like this with some matte, so you can try. Hopefully that's picking it up, but we want to try and get the boots look like they were new, but parts of them are scuffed up where they've come into contact with things. So the raised areas where they could come into contact with things. The bottom of his boot has a severe scuff. Okay, so that's really good, thank you. And then what we can do is we can basically dry brush on some this is completely fucking blocked up. Okay, so get the excess, go over, just dry brush that roughed up details there, go over the back, maybe do like a scuff like that, graze, and then wipe it so it's like a scrape, so it's breaking up the gloss, so it doesn't look like, you don't want it to look like a parade gloss kind of officer look, because it's Han Solo, he's rough and tumble. Hopefully you can kind of see how that's kind of working out now. It's one boot with a bit of dry brushing on it. And then we've got the other one here. So we'll go over once again, hitting that raised areas. Also, thanks for interacting with the chat. It makes it so much more fun. Super appreciate everyone. Let's go over the front. I'm going to do circular motions on that one. Kind of see. Got a bit of good old scuffage there. Go some more on the folds. Like that. Maybe add a bit to the top. Around the edge. So scuff that boot. Right, this PlayStation clearly just wants to die at this point. Go away. Okay. So we've got some matte areas mixed in there, so trying to it breaks up the boot, makes it a bit more lived and used. But that gloss paint is quite good. Just adding little bits of random bits of detail. Not too bad, okay. Right. So he's got his boots glossed, a bit of matte scuffage there. Which is not looking too bad. We're approaching the 2-hour limit, so I think once we've finished with these boots, we'll probably call it a day, and I'll have to finish. I'm going to carry on, so I will do a few bit more on stream. But after the stream's done, it'll be cracking on with the rest of it. And maybe you'll see the big reveal at some point in the next couple of days. Right, so mud brown. Put that in the old wash pot. We'll get my thin flat brush. Bit of mud brown. Oh, sorry, NATO brown, I should say. Get the flat brush. Add some paint and then wipe off the excess. Yeah, okay, maybe a bit much. So we'll take off as much as we can. We'll get a boot. And because it's the bottom layer is leather, we'll try and start with less is more. so little less. I can't bloody see it. Okay, so. Because of the gloss black, I think we're having to layer it up quite a bit because it's not coming through as much, which is fine. Okay. Because we can always knock it back with some extra gloss black. Okay. I'm at that quiet point where I'm trying to concentrate. And then he said a big scuff at the bottom. It's kind of looking a bit more like mud at the minute, so I might have to go in with a lighter colour. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a light up again, this. Sorry, Instagram is super slow. I need to plug my phone in a minute. Oh wow, you weren't kidding. That almost looks like oh, so it is, yeah, it's just kind of scuffed, isn't it? Okay, cool. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really good. So we've got like a good reference to that, like a really good reference. So there is like a kind of almost like a quite scuffed up at the front. Maybe go in with a lighter earth kind of colour. Because obviously when leather gets worn down quite a bit. Let's have a look. Let's try that. I just didn't really... Okay, that's looking a bit better, like scuffed leather. It's lost all of its colour. And then what I'll do is I'll do like a thin veneer of it, and then we'll go over with a bit of the brown to mix it in, so that it does try and making it look like it's a leather shoe sole material that's been worn down because he's walked on it for so much, and then it's got a bit of mud poking through with it. Dude, it helps massively. Thank you so much. Honestly, like collab customizing is the way forward. Okay, so it's not looking too bad. I need to go and start adding the mud or the darker brown over it to knock part of it back. Okay, that was kind of cool. Pleased with that. Right, so it has hit the 2 hour mark, so I'm gonna call it there for today, chaps. Thank you very much for everybody that came along and hung out and interacted and said hello. Super appreciate all the help you guys have been doing. Just coming in, having a bit of a waffle. It's been super fun. I'll try and do some more streams of this, hopefully tomorrow, when I've moved on to another phase, and you can check in on the progress and see how we are. But yeah, thanks very much, my dudes. Look after yourself and have a great rest of your day, everyone. I shall speak to you all in a bit.